All right. Hello, everybody. This is the I don't know what the name we're going to call it yet podcast, but I'll figure
Unnamed
something creative
podcast.
out. Yeah, I don't know. It'll maybe be the DGen podcast part two for those of you from IOHL. For the new listeners, welcome in and welcome to wasting your fucking time listening to us speak. All right, so I am the Glizzy Goblin, a mediocre left defenseman. I am your favorite media lead for the UHL. I'm here with Kuzi, now known as Delisi with fucking X's in places that I don't remember.
Hey,
Patrick, also known as a Tribe QC or CQ, whichever one you want to read it as. And Golden Aces, who actually has a shirt that fits him tonight. We love to see it.
yeah.
All right. I'll pass it off for his own introduction. Kuz, you want to go ahead?
Yeah, I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head. That's what I am. And that's about it. And used to drink a lot for these things. I'm gonna try to be a civil human being this time around. And then after week 2, when that ends, we'll have a good time. So
Yeah, I'm set. That's what I was gonna set the over under at 2 weeks.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. That's it. I suck at NHL, and that's
I
about
think we
it.
all suck in NHL. All right, Tribe, you had something to lead us off with before we really get into the episode. So
Yeah, so as some of you know, the previous incarnation of the Degenerate podcast kind of was just a 2-hour ramble.
It was a great ramble.
come on, we executed.
It was great. It was entertaining. We get it. Kind of bullshit though, in a good way. So we got some segments, let's call them, that we're gonna bring back from week to week that we've discussed. We're gonna do asshole of the week. Kraken mentioned something about doing top 5 assholes. I don't want to put that many people on the spot. We're going to do asshole of the week. So be on the lookout, because if we see someone acting up, you're going to be asshole of the week.
Yes.
I mean, there's a good chance that one of us also ends up.
We
on that
will
list.
all probably be on it at one point.
And at least once I'll end up there.
Too, so.
Yeah. Another fun one is we're going to do Remember When every podcast. And so that's going to reference back to a point. I mean, a lot of us have played in other leagues together for years and years. So we're going to highlight something that could be a good thing, could be a ridiculous thing, could be a bad thing. We're going to always reference back to something, good memories that we get a laugh out of, just to think back. We're also obviously going to do standings and like a past week review every week. So if a team moves up in the standings, a team's suffering, we're always going to sort of harken back to actual gameplay and stuff of that sort. One that I'm fun about, looking forward to, and I think it will be fun. Little upset that he's we'll see how long he lasts in his sobriety. We're gonna do something called the Delicious Duo, and so every week, Stevie Delicious is gonna pick 2 players on a team, right? So it could be this right wing and this right defense on this team. Put them together. Talk about how they're going to make an impact in that week, what he sees going forward. I wanted it to be more of a rant in his favor. When I put the segment together, I wasn't aware that he's drinking water from now on.
Hey, look.
I think
there's hard liquor in the kitchen. We'll figure something out.
I think he can.
Oh, brother, we're going to fucking peer pressure this guy into liquor.
No,
it won't take much.
Honestly,
it's not a hard push.
I think he can carry the segment without it. It also, I don't think
I don't know about that
hard. I think it would be like a love tap, and he's in it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so those
are
we're going to bring some structure to the week to the podcast from week to week. That'll sort of be things to look forward to, and obviously we're going to highlight a lot of other things from week to week. Those are definitely reoccurring segments that we've decided. So it'll be some good stuff.
Kuzi will probably buckle halfway through this episode.
I mean, I almost turned the camera off to go load up, but I heard it's not going to be a long one, so I'm not going to bother tonight.
That's about like an hour and a half, maybe.
See, that's a pretty long time.
You might need that. I mean, we have pausing. We can make some cuts in here.
Oh God! Don't give. Come on, it's day one. Move on.
On top of that, we'll probably have try to do a weekly Glizzy guest on the show and have somebody maybe like a top scorer, maybe somebody who's just having a fucking brutal week, so that I can bring them on and just insult them violently for about an hour. Or just like owners and
Have someone that's having a rough week come on and just be like, "What the hell is going on, dude? Explain yourself."
Hey man, I saw you put up 0 points in 5 games. I just wanted to know, what is it like to be such a giant, wasteless piece of shit?
He'll fit right in with us. It'll
For
be
the
great.
record,
Yeah.
for the 4 people that are watching this, please, if we make fun of you, do you see what we're doing right now? Please do not take it serious. Like we're talking to 6 people on the internet doing a podcast. So like people got butthurt last season. Like, make fun of me. Like,
well, unless I
look
say
at
that
us.
it's serious, then take it seriously, because then I might just not like you.
Well, yeah, Trap.
Also, you
some
know
people,
serious.
if Trap says it, take it to heart. But I'm never gonna shit on anyone. I don't care.
You'll also know when all of us are serious or not, for sure.
Yeah. Shout out Steele.
We've been serious. But I also wanted to sort of piggyback on what Kuzi was saying, is that, you know, content in these leagues makes it infinitely more enjoyable. So just keep that in mind. We're just trying to make it a fun environment, keep the league fun, something to look forward to, and something to kind of put, a talk in the main chat, like talk about the podcast in the main chat after it comes out, stuff of that sort. So it just keeps it more interesting, engaging, shit like that. You want to be on it, hit us up, any one of us. Like, we're willing to put anybody on. So within reason.
Yeah, don't
say no.
Please. I got like fucking 30 messages last IOHL season. Can I come on the pod? No.
It'll be boring.
You want to know why? Because you're a negative 43.
That's fine. Who's on that team? He's a player.
I mean, didn't you have Heisman on the podcast in the IOHL?
Yeah, but I mean, he's a fucking
baby.
hillbilly, so like
That would
you
be
can
good.
put guys like that on, because
Dude, he wears fucking Randy Savage fucking glasses all
yeah,
the
he
time.
literally looks like Randy Savage had an incestuous relationship
$10,000
about a
baseball
kid.
Oakley sunglasses on in his house. In his fucking
First
house.
base for the Cardinals, dude. Come on.
Yeah, he wears like $10,000 Oakleys with like a fucking $4 Dago tee and a $15 fitted cap he got from Lids. Get the fuck
Oh,
out of
Lids
here,
is
dude.
tax. That shit's not $15. Lids is expensive as fuck for no
He,
reason.
you know he has gift cards.
Oh, okay. This is too much, guys.
All right.
Fine.
Good.
Well, let's introduce our guest, our prestigious leader, Golden Aces.
Whoa. Are we clapping? We not clap? Do we clap? No. Okay.
Little golf clap.
I don't know if I deserve to clap or not.
So Golden Aces is the founder and owner of this league. Really stepped up to the plate and said, "Wow, where can people go to play pretty much dog shit hockey against other dog shit people, and then lose to one super team?" And so he made the UHL. And so here we go.
Sounds about right.
So this is the sequel to the IOHL, because the International Online Ho League pretty much collapsed.
Come on now. Honestly, like,
Is it dead? It's dead, right?
It's got to be dead, dude. There's no way.
I know, but I don't know if I want to take shots like that, boys.
No, they don't deserve that. But Trap said it. That he's a sociopath. But,
I mean, if I can jump in on this topic really quick here.
So, oh yeah, of course.
Yeah. So literally, like, my thought process, and I got to give a huge shout out to the boys helping me out too, Kraken, Trump, Mazzo, and Pat, because they've stepped up a lot too. But it was just, as you know, like we were staffing IOHL, and it was just kind of going nowhere. There was a lot of, obviously, nobody in the chat. Nobody was really talking, and we're like, what are we doing here, guys? There's still people that want to play. So we kind of just were like, you know what, let's go do our own thing. And we ended up doing our own thing, as you've seen. So it wasn't really a shot necessarily at those guys. It's just, we just wanted somewhere for the guys to play where the top level people were actually active and willing to do stuff. And that's basically where this came from.
Yeah. So Aces, can you confirm or deny your insider espionage to bring down the league when you were elected VP, so that you could found your own league? Are those rumors correct, or?
No, not even close, man. Like I was in the league for a long time, dude, and I was former staff there. And when I came on staff, like, I was just trying to help out. And after I was named DVET's successor, it was just toast. Like,
some tough shoes to fill.
Yeah, but I mean, like, Kidney and Holy, like, I don't mind the guys, but they just were not around, and it was just nothing could really be done. And we were finally like, you know what are we doing here? After the dates kept getting pushed and pushed and pushed, we're like, fuck this. And we had no ill will towards those guys. It was just the decision that we felt was best for everybody. So
yeah, I mean, They made some questionable comments towards the end, but we won't talk about that.
In their defense, they I mean, Holy at least. I don't know how long Christ,
Yeah, all love for
I don't
Holy.
know how
I have
long
no
he's
problem
been
with
doing it
Holy.
a long time. Like I'm sure he was tired of it. Like
Well, you know what? I know that he because I mean, shit, I was staff as well before you, Aces, season before you, and you know, it's not, yeah, but it's not that far removed from running a successful NHL, NAHL which is tough for a league that's not LG, right? I know for a fact that Holy got busy with work, and he was carrying a massive load, and like,
I bet he was.
Yeah. Well, but seriously, all kidding aside, he got busy, dude. And like when you're doing everything, and DVETS leaves, and you're kind of there as the one guy before you came in.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck, dude. Do you like work at Disney or do you not?
Well, and it's just hard too because like
I forgot he works at Disney.
Because
Star Wars exhibitor, don't you? I mean, fuck.
The thing
Are
is
you giving me a tour of the Millennium Falcon?
Or are you fucking writing new rules for next season?
The thing is too is just obviously Kidney was not around very much, neither was Tank, and just the process in that league was stuff had to go from here to here to here to here, right? And it's like when one or two of those here and here's aren't around, there's not a lot you can do.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, like we had no issues with those guys. They kind of came at us after we did this for obvious reasons, like we understood. But they were like, why didn't you recruit here? Why didn't you recruit here? And it's like, dude, we tried. We were doing it for like a month. And just unfortunately, because of what had happened the last couple of seasons, not many people wanted to play there. And so we were like, you know what, just let's give those people a place to go.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess our central first segment here will just be to ask you some questions, Aces, about the founding of this new franchise.
Sure.
And to kind of get a look at what's going to go on, and then we do have a special little segment at the end for all the owners of the league to see.
We're about to bury all the owners, aren't we? Jeez.
We can do that too. We could do that too.
Yeah, we'll just I want to go through the list and just insult every single one.
I don't even think I've looked at the owners list.
I don't know a lot of them or their management. It won't stop me.
I'll say that there's probably one person I know on like every grouping of people, because it's like bring your own that, and fucking the guy down the street.
Poops is owning a team. Oh, great.
I have the list like right in front of me of all the management and the players they
go to Susie. Go to the roster docs.
Is AG actually still owning, or did he back out?
No, his buddies all had like a little falling out, and he was like, I don't want to do it with only half of them, so I'm just gonna he was basically, I'm just respectfully gonna step down like well ahead of the draft just because I don't want to cause any issues. And I was like, okay,
actually might be a better thing for you.
Yeah.
Like having them signed up is phenomenal, but having them own and bringing 6
that would have been tough.
Yeah, but I mean that was our way of trying to bring people in and entice them. We had 42 owner applications. 42? Yeah,
that's
42.
not bad.
So
it's really good.
Yeah,
it's unfortunate most of them probably sucked ass. That's what I was thinking too.
Honestly, like you pick them, and if one succeeds, then keep them in your back pocket, and you're gonna have the shitty ones the first couple seasons.
Toronto's gonna be pretty good.
But as long as everything goes to plan, right, there's gonna be other guys that step up, and those guys that don't do great, we replace. And if we add teams, we add new owners, right? It's just gotta give guys a chance.
You gotta like.
Well, there's also a bunch of guys that are biding their time and trying to see how this first season goes before they decide if they want to own. I mean, I know I had plans to own an IOHL, and I'm not owning here, but then honestly more so became that it was probably better off I didn't own IOHL. I had shit come up, but I mean, it's definitely something to keep an eye on.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not even skating this season, not only because like I have life going on and I want to.
You also suck.
Give last season ever IOHL champion. What did you do? Stevie predicted it. I just want to
had to deal with your fucking shit goalie talking shit.
I told you Tampa was dead. I said that like halfway through the season. Don't sleep on those Bulls.
Both, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, how'd Chicago do?
I don't care. I guessed right. I'm a media member first and then a player. Okay, I got my guess right.
Maybe that's why your team sucks so bad.
Behind me. TSN. Where are you at? That's all I'm saying. Anyway,
All right. So yes, moving on. Gliz, I think you said you have some questions lined up.
Could say that, I guess.
I mean, as of 3 p.m. today, you said, I'm going to write down questions. Did you or not?
We just asked it. Now what?
That was my own question.
I'm going to write down questions.
I'm gonna write down a question.
You guys
Listen, that was way before I had a few Coors Lights.
Okay. And yeah,
So
please too when we last met.
I can improvise some questions. No, I
only
did.
did have one question.
You guys can spew whatever you want. Like any
No, I
question.
figured I did have a couple, but I figured I didn't want to write down too many because I figured a lot of them will just come up through the conversation or through and Tribe and Kuz will have questions. I guess the first one that makes the most sense is what made you want to start your own league, going from being like the IOHL VP first season you were going to be the IOHL VP.
Yeah.
Obviously stepped down and now founded this league. What was your motivation for doing so?
Well, ages ago when I was a little 13-year-old, I mean, I haven't really grown much since then.
So like last year?
Yeah, pretty much. But I was like somewhere in my early teens, and I started a league back then, like back when leagues were really starting to become a thing, like right after VHL merged with LG. And it went really well. I used this same rule, and after like 3 seasons, we got to like 24 teams. There was some shitty stuff that happened amongst some of the staff and the guy that was helping us out with the website that led to it collapsing. And I'm like, okay, I'm done with this. But now being 24, I was like, you know what? I think I can do this again. These guys all want to go somewhere to play. I think that I get along well with a lot of people. So I was like, you know what? We'll give it a shot. And I had a good group of guys that were willing to do it with me. Otherwise, I wouldn't have done it. So.
Well, that actually segues into a good question I thought of. Are you done,
Yes.
Trap?
You can go ahead.
So who of the current management, I guess, who did you have to reach out to and ask if they wanted to come help, or did they all kind of just go, hey, let me come help with that, or how did that work?
Technically, like, I guess you would put it as me asking all of them in a way. It was with Kraken and Trump, it was kind of something I had thrown around with them for a couple of weeks prior. I'd been like, hey, I'm thinking about doing this. Would you maybe be willing to help? And they were like, yeah, absolutely, whatever. And then there was the basically G-Day where we decided to leave, and they just came with me, like, no problem. And then we were like, you know what? It makes more sense for us to add more staff. And we were like, we don't want to do 4 because that's not an odd amount for voting. So we're like, okay, let's add 2 more. And we thought about Mazo, who had applied for staff in the IOHL. And then we thought, sorry?
Dumbass, such a dumbass.
And then
Hope he watches this.
And then we thought about Pat, who obviously had been previous staff in IOHL. We knew that he couldn't dedicate as much time, but he at least can be there to provide insight and do what he can from his phone. So that we knew that going into it, not a big deal. And that was it. We basically did that. They were all like right away, like in it, went from there. So
All right.
And we're looking to add more soon too. Fun fact, we're going to be putting out an application soon for guys to help us with day-to-day stuff now that we've grown so much more than we thought we would. So
Nice.
That's very commendable, but the fact that you just fucking made me media lead was such a poor decision in itself.
You're the first one that asked, so I'm like media lead.
I woke up one fucking morning and checked Discord and saw that I had a media lead role. I was like, this is gonna go so
Like,
poorly.
Such a cool guy that he's like, man, you made me media lead out of nowhere. Like, what the hell? He asked to be it.
No, I said I would do media. I didn't expect to be the lead.
I mean, you all do it together. It's just I was just like, you know what, you're the first.
Trap's nothing without me. Let's say it. Let's put it out there right now.
I've got a question to follow up sort of on that. So, you know, I obviously having been staff and having kind of done a lot, let's say, I'm not gonna delve into
Pumping your own tires there.
Yeah, no, but I mean, I don't want to delve too much in like
Do you have a fucking kale salad to be preparing?
certain people, you know, and their lack of competence or whatever. It's not my job to be slanderous, to be honest. But I obviously have kicked the tires on like the aspect of, wow, could I start my own league? You know, like, could I?
I wouldn't.
I know a lot of people would come with me, but the thing is that it's such a daunting fucking thing to do. It's such a daunting thing to leave what works. Because at the time it was working, you know, and I'm sure if IOHL didn't have this sort of migration, something would have happened. Whether it would have been a quote unquote successful season or not, something would have happened. Games would have been played. Let's just sort of say
I would have won the cup if they had that season.
yeah, pretty much. That's
The only
where
way you can win a cup is when there's two
Yeah.
teams.
But
You're goddamn right.
it's a
One
very
of my Mickey Mouse run.
it's a very daunting sort of thing. So I mean, like, what pushed you over the edge? Obviously, you said like people wanted to play this and that, but it's like pretty decent responsibility. You're not getting paid. It takes up a shit ton of time just being on staff, let alone founding. You know, what kind of pushed you over the edge? I mean, was it obviously you could have just quit and played LG?
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, what sort of pushed you over the edge there?
I think, as I said, I was staff in IOHL a long time ago. I've always, because I'm West Coast, I enjoy playing in those later leagues. And there's not, aside from the West Coast League, the leagues that are later kind of like smaller. And obviously IOHL was probably the second biggest community, I guess, aside from the West Coast League now. And so it was just, as I mentioned before, I had run one in the past and I was like, you know what, let's try it again. I just had to make sure I had a good group of guys with me because I'm not a 14-year-old that can come home from school and just sit on my computer all day.
Yeah.
So I had to make sure I have a good group of guys with me, but also now that I work from home doing like my own thing, it just gives me my own time. I can finish what I'm doing and take a quick glance at sign up sheets and fill stuff out, or I can take a quick glance at Discord or have it up. I mean, I'm pretty good at keeping myself focused. So it's just kind of a convenient thing that I now can sit here all day and things.
I'm sorry. I was looking at fucking face. I was like, what do you
Cruz, are you gonna fucking make out with that water bottle or what?
Sorry, I was listening. I was
I just look over the whole time Aces are talking. Just...
Outside of these two fools. So was your sort of like trepidation, like your hesitation to start a league kind of alleviated once those other guys were on board, sort of?
I think both ways. Them kind of being on board helped, but also, as I said, IOHL was one of the biggest leagues for so long, and I had paddock history there, as had all of them, and I think that it was like us hanging on in hopes that they'd be able to fix their shit so that league could continue. And I think there was one point where we were like, you know what, it's just, I think it was actually when there was a time where Kidney was like, oh, we're going to post dates. Just didn't do it. And we're like, we literally had these conversations about, we need to keep the community honest, be honest, follow through with our promises. And the first thing he does is not that. So we're like, you know what, we'll do our own thing. And I think that's kind of what pushed us over the edge. And I think it was just that we were hanging on in hopes that could continue. So
I have 3 things. One of them being a question, 2 being other things. What?
We got to pause real quick.
You need a pause? Yeah. We can pause. All right, we'll be back after a short break. Okay. We're back. Tribe had to go make a kale salad for himself. He already ingested it rapidly through a straw.
That's milk.
Anyway, so I had 3 different things. Number 1, Aces, is this a good time to start talking about my salary for the year? And where we're gonna start at that, if there's pay bumps, bonuses.
Yeah. I was thinking I have like 2 bags of peanuts in my car that I could give you, and then
whoa, both.
Dude, we'll split it. He's got a serious peanut allergy, dude.
Who said snacks?
Let me get
I'm not allowed to have
those peanuts. I can eat peanuts.
All right. My second. Wow, that just confused the shit out of me. Second question is, like Tribe said, you're not getting paid for this. So if Me6 introduces like a fucking advertisement service, I promise you I'm fucking out. And then my third question is, this is actually a realistic. I know.
It's just a thing.
Well, my third. This is my actual question. So I saw like, you don't see this often, but you guys did with making rules and everything. You allowed a lot of people to vote on everything, which is very unique. Because you don't see a lot of people do that. IOHL, LG, it's already kind of set in stone. And then there's a little bit of kind of feedback where you can put in, but not really just vote on to determine if it's this rule or that rule.
Yeah.
So one, what made you guys go with that process? And two, how are you going to use that going forward to like enforce, consequences on rule breaks and also introduce new rules? Because obviously last year there was a lot of, in IHL at least, there was a lot of controversy surrounding like rules being introduced mid-season and people being like, oh well, this owner or this staff member got screwed over by this rule, so they edited it and now it's different to be in their favor. So how are you guys gonna go about that?
So I'll start with like kind of why we're doing that. I think just because we wanted to make this league a league for the players, and that was said when we started it, right? Like the IOHL was one of the biggest communities, but they didn't have much of a say. So we were like, you know what? We're gonna kind of create the base of the rule book, but anything that's been sort of not controversial, but you know what I mean, those rules that are kind of really debated on between people if it should be this way or this way. We're like, let's let them vote on it and they can decide because they're the ones playing in it. And we, in our staff chat, we have like our voting room, and there's like some of those, there was 6 or 7 options, and we would vote it down to 3 and then give that to the league. And so I think that just allows them to feel more involved for one. In terms of going forward, we're not doing any of that mid-season rule change shit. Like unless there is a massive gaping hole in something, we're going to leave it as is. We're going to make sure we follow those rules to a T. Like we've already got documents going on tracking all that stuff and who's been suspended or warned or whatever, just so it's all there and consistent. And we're constantly talking about consistency and how to do that, because that was, I think, their downfall in the fact that there was different rules, whether it be in regular season or playoffs, that were not followed through on or adjusted or whatever. So we're not doing that. In terms of how we're going to use it going forward, I think, I mean, I can't really speak 100% because who knows what's going to happen. Our rule book could end up being perfect and nothing needs to get changed. I doubt it, but you don't know. So I think that what we've kind of tossed around is that in the off season, again, anything that sort of may have been controversial or had issues will probably spit back out to the league and been like, do you want it to stay? Do you want it to be this? Do you want it to be this? And that'll probably just be a consistent thing. Like, I think the first one next season will be, do you guys want to bring your own line again? Because we did that the first season to bring people in. And I think that if they want it to continue, sure. If they don't, not a big deal. Do we want teams to have re-signs or anything? Up to you guys. Like those are kind of things that we'll bring to the people because we want to make people happy and also enjoy playing here. So that's a big step to it.
So it's communism. Anyway, I think
on
that
paper it looks great.
I know, but you know what it is? I think a really good thing too is with the way you're doing it is, and I think kind of the downfall of the other league was consistency, not only throughout a season and rule changes, sort of, but like literally from decision to decision. Like there could be
consequences and punishments and everything.
Where something is sort of taken care of one day, and then the next day the ruling was completely different.
Yeah.
You're gonna have people complain on a ruling, obviously, but if they complain every time and it's the same ruling, then fucking so what? Change it like in the off season.
Yeah.
I think that's the key. Is like if it's a bad rule, or not even a bad rule, if it's a rule that people disagree with throughout the season, and just put it on the docket and say, hey, this is the rule for the season that we all voted on and we all agreed to start up.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, it sucks right now. We're not changing it because after we change it, if we were to, it would affect different teams and different skaters a different manner.
Yeah,
and it's unfair. So I think that's a huge key, even if it's something that is a horrible rule.
Yeah.
Just push it to the docket for the offseason because honestly, like the one of the biggest reasons I know personally after owning, in a previous league last season, we had so many issues during the playoffs, and I had the 2 higher ups in the league on my team, so they couldn't make a ruling on it.
Mm-hmm.
And then it fell down to I wasn't able to do something the team I was playing was able to do one series, just because you talk to 2 different people.
Yeah.
And you get 2 different rulings. So I think that's a huge thing, for sure.
I think as well that we haven't officially talked about this. I think this will come once we hopefully add more staff members. There was a suggestion posted a while ago, and this is proof that we do use that, in that add in like a staff member per team, I think that's a little excessive. But having a staff member to cover like a section of team, or like 2 staff members a night that you can go to and be like, hey, help, right? I think we're going to try and go along that route. I don't know to what regard, but we're going to do something along that lines where there's like an MOC for staff. And that way it's consistent. And then also just we're really trying to be not as like banhammerish as the IOHL was, right? Like we're going to try and be more lenient. Of course, if stuff happens that crosses a line, it'll be dealt with, but we're not just going to throw the ban hammer at everybody like they did. And our playoff rules, they're obviously not in the rule book yet, but we've already decided they're going to be a lot more lenient as well. Of course, like line matching comes into play, but none of that, all those specific rules that fuck teams over if there's one guy that can't show up.
Well, yeah, I mean, I had a bigger problem with the IOHL playoff rules where it was like, oh, if you had late stats, you got a warning. But if it comes in the playoffs, like, oh, you have your game overturned and then your management suspended for 3 games. It's like, well, so you're just going to fuck any team?
I think for us, like, I forget exactly, actually, I'll bring it up just so I'm not misquoting this, but I believe, like, in the rules for late stats, it's not as bad.
Show me your nipple. What's going on over there?
No, sorry, I'm scratching. I don't know where it is in here, but it basically, it's not going to be as bad. Like I think in the last week, oh yeah, here it is. So it says penalties for late stats in the final week of the season will start at number 2 and bypass step 1, just because in that last week you don't want people like just being really lax,
slacking off.
Yeah. But in the playoffs, it's not going to be like a bunch of shit. Like in playoffs, you've done your whole thing. It'll probably be like a 1-game suspension. I think the reason that we decided on no penalties, I can't remember the exact reason, was just because it's in the regular season anyways, it's giving an advantage to another team that has nothing to do with you. So it's like it's kind of unfair for another team to basically get a free goal or 2 because you screwed up.
It affects more than one team at that point.
It should just be your team that gets punished, right? A suspension or a warning or whatever. So again, of course, this is all stuff that can change later on, but that's kind of how we were approaching that one. And I think that and also additionally to this is something we've been posing to the owners in talking about playoffs, in that obviously the standard way would be top 8 teams make playoffs. However, we've posed it to the owners about giving them the option of, hey, should we do a play-in kind of thing? Reason for that being first season, obviously with the bring your own team thing, there could be teams. I personally don't think there's going to be any really dominant teams right now, but you never know. There'll probably be like 2 sort of tiers, but it just kind of like allows, if we do the play-in, gives all those teams that even if they're a little bit lower, that motivation to play the rest of the season because they could go in and somehow make playoffs.
Yeah.
Right? So as a first season with the bring your own team thing, we're kind of combating that by allowing all the teams to make playoffs.
I mean, you could also even do kind of, I guess you could do it where like you could do kind of how like the first season LG brought back the ECHL. They pretty much allowed everybody to be in, but certain guys got either higher seeding or you can do like give somebody a bye week.
Well, essentially, we have 2 options that we post to owners, and I have no problem bringing this up here. So the first one is 1 through 4 out of 12 teams make it, and then what's left, hypothetically, like 5v12 play each other in a 3-game series, 6v11 in a 3-game series, and then the winner of that gets the seed. Or we have another option where 1 through 6 make it, and then we're doing it like, if any of you guys follow the NBA, similar to how they did it this year, where like 7 and 8 would play, and then the other guys play, and the winners kind of move up and play 7.
It was like 5, 6, 7, 8 play.
Yeah, it's like, so there'd be 6 teams remaining, right? So it kind of like you do it differently in that way. Like I forget exactly what we wrote down, but it was there.
Well, so that asked me, maybe you had already posted this out, maybe I missed it or just didn't see it. So is it going to be 1 conference or 2 different conferences?
It's just going to be 1 this season.
Okay.
Schedule's already made. I made the schedule like a week ago. So we're also going back to the old IOHL days of you play the same team both games in one night.
Nice.
That's good. I like that.
It's smart for the first season for sure.
Yeah, it's just it allows more flexibility in the way that it's less strenuous for owners, as well as the fact that, hey, do you guys want to play the second game 15 minutes early? We're all right here already.
Yeah, that'll be the nice thing. And then it does good for, you can put the same lineup against the same team, or if you want to try up a different lineup against the same team and see how they might perform, it's good.
Well, and it also adds, because with only 12 teams, obviously you're going to play each other quite a bit. So that the way this works out, like, you might not see a team until week 3 for the first time, because it's sections of 11, right? And there's what, five nights a week. So you're only seeing a team every 2-3 weeks, which is nice. You're not having to face those top teams every week or those bottom teams every week.
I think the 2 games in a row is huge too, because from my experience in leagues that do that, where you play the back-to-back games, there's always leniency between sort of management as well when you see that, where it's like, oh, my guy had to go walk his dog, like, can we chill for a little bit? And I feel like the allowance of that is a lot more acceptable when it's a back-to-back thing, because obviously the guy's going to show up, he just went to do his thing, and whatever. You have that established relationship that night.
And if
it's also nice for figuring out like server settings and everything like that. You can agree on one server for both games and not have to worry about coordinating with 2 different managements and everything.
And if the game's going late, right, you don't have to be like, hey, shit, we're running late.
That's a big thing right there.
Every single aspect for a league as a startup for the first season, that's one of the smartest.
And I will not take credit for that. I forget exactly who it was. I think it was both of them, but I think it was Kraken and Trump that suggested that. It could have been Pat as well, but they were the ones that suggested that. I'm like, yeah, good idea.
It's a great idea.
Yeah.
All right. Small question I had: will I have the ability to mute people on demand? Because I kind of want to be able to do that.
I will take that up with my boss, which is me.
All right. Sounds good. Well, I'll look forward to that ultimatum.
Smart man, I'll say no. I just wanted to say something. I've just been sitting here quiet.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, Kuz, if you had something you wanted to say.
I think I just said it. Just don't trap any power. That's about it. No, I don't know. I've just been listening, soaking up information. Just because I'll be honest, I wasn't really gonna join the league, and then I was like, I don't know. I just kind of changed my mind, and I've only been in here for like a week or so I'm still kind of feeling my way around, figuring the new stuff out and what's the same, and just kind of. And then,
which reminds me,
draft here, we're like, oh, we're doing the pod, and I was like, so now I'm here.
Yeah, which reminds me, I wasn't gonna sign up either and play. I just had a lot going on, and it's summer. Not really trying to be playing Xbox too much, but I signed up as a 4 out of 10. So shout out to any owners out there. If you pick me up, I signed up as defense because I'm not a bitch and I'm not gonna hide, but I want to play forward. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah, I'm going back and forth, man, because I signed up as right wing and LG, and I'm like, oh, I kind of want to fucking play 4 out of 10 right wing here too, a little bit to get like some work in. But,
that's the thing. Like I will play defense for whoever, but I don't get to play forward often because everybody knows that. So I'm like, we got a guest appearance. That's probably getting cut out.
I think delicious. Do you unplugging your router?
I don't know if you guys.
Dinner's ready.
I don't know if you guys have seen the late sign up rule that we have now too, but that was also posted for the league, and that
I have not seen that. If you want to explain it.
So yeah, it's kind of a hybrid of a draft and an RA. So it's basically a way, because obviously people with the RA are like, oh, the league might RA the better players to the better teams, but with a draft it takes a fuck ton too long. So the idea that was posed by Kraken, and I think the vote when it went to the league was like 60-0.
I saw that, and I actually did like that.
It's essentially the bottom 3 teams go into a draft lottery, and they're lottery picked, and whoever is number 1, number 2, number 3, whatever, get to draft a late sign up guy. Then the rest of the teams are RA players. So it's only really a 3-team draft. The rest of the teams get RA. That way, the worst teams hypothetically get the best players in the draft or who they want, and then the rest of the teams just get RA.
So I'm going to assume that you're not going to allow trading of RA picks like IOHL did then, right?
Like, you mean the draft picks? No.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, no. They get those picks. You can trade the people after if you want, but And then also our trade council is a little bit different as well. It's not really a trade council. We're just basically, and it says this all in the rules, so people
Is
can
this still D-Vet's wife doing it?
no,
Well,
but it doesn't say it.
Dude, I guarantee you she was doing the fucking.
It
She
says
was
it,
controlling it.
but essentially what we're doing is we're just gonna literally post it to the owners every trade that happens. We'll be like, hey, you guys vote, you're the owners. And we understand that say I'm in second place and the team above me makes a great trade to get better, I'm probably gonna say no, I don't want that trade to happen. So all that is basically doing is if it gets below 50%, like if it gets 50%, say no, then we as staff will review it. And it's kind of just a way to trigger it and be like, hey, you guys need to review it or don't bother, it's fine. So
Makes sense.
and that may change, right? That may be one of those things later on that we're like, oh, we should do differently, but we'll give it a try first.
I mean, that makes sense for now because if they pass it through, then it's not worth your time, to be honest with us to deal with.
And if they don't or they're being petty or whatever, then we just look at it and we look at LG stats, we look at different places, and we're like, oh, it's fine.
Right. Yeah. But I mean, it would have to theoretically it would have to take a lot of people to be petty.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I would assume it would be majority.
Yeah. But yeah, we think that the RA system is good because it won't take forever and it's easy. And then also it gets those bottom teams the better players or who they want.
Would you randomize the next grouping or would it be based on standings?
No, the last 9 teams would just be totally random. I would probably I haven't figured out exactly how I want to do it, but I'm assuming what would happen is that I take the remaining 9 teams, put it in a randomizer, get a list, and then take the RAs, put them in a randomizer, and get a list and go top down.
That's usually the easiest way to do it.
Yeah, that's what I thought to do. And then if we have enough for 2 rounds, I think it says in the rules, I don't want to misquote it, but I think that after we RA a round, they get to pick guys again, and then we go through.
That'd be all right.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
I like that system.
I think a lot of these rules, it's pretty interesting to me because a lot of these rules are ones that have been sort of detrimental to leagues, and you kind of have put in sort of hybrids within these rule sets that kind of are the best of both worlds within rulings. And I think, you obviously change it as you go, but I think those are good decisions for sure going forward.
Not during the season, right?
But not during the season.
Yeah.
Make note of it, but not during the season.
Yeah.
All right. Well, very exciting. Does anybody else have any some important questions they want to ask Aces here?
I'll say this, looking over the rosters briefly earlier today, I like Toronto and Chicago. Can't tell you who's on those teams right now, but those are the 2 that I saw that I thought would be.
So Toronto right now is Lefty, Frank, and Falcon as their management, and their 3 ads are Lube, Brown Man Can, and Schlarky is unconfirmed.
I didn't even know about Schlarky. I'm not gonna
lie. And Chicago is Dempsey, Pothead, Earth, my favorite liar, Comet, and then 1 to be determined. So
so I think those are my 2 favorites. That's looking at
I have picked up by a team too, so hopefully my team is
What team?
Yeah, Vegas.
Who is it?
Vegas. So it's going to be Night Owl, Deadpan Dan, his buddy, myself, Plank, who was originally an owner but just didn't really have the want to do it anymore, and then we don't know the 6th yet. But I played for him in the AHL last season, so
I know exactly none of those people.
I know a few of them. I mean, that's the thing. I don't want to speak on a lot of the teams yet because I don't know a lot of the owners and management. I had to do some research, and also a lot of it will be just told by how they draft.
Yeah.
Which also will be difficult because I have to do a lot of research on some of the players in the draft because I don't know a lot of the guys. I mean, you guys brought in a lot of unknowns, which could make it very interesting, and it's going to actually incentivize scouting for once because IOHL was a lot of the same guys.
Yeah, we did
then the guys that you didn't know, if you looked them up on LG and they didn't have stats, they pretty much got looked up.
In IOHL, you got made fun of if you joined a scouting Discord. Oh, no, not everyone knows you already? Oh, you're in a scouting Discord? It's like,
wow. I was actually looking at the list, and I see a lot of people, a lot of the traditional people that sort of from, LG, IOHL, etc. That the places we've played us for collectively. But I've also seen people that I've played with in 239. I've also seen people that I know from Moose. I've seen a couple other places, and it brought me to a question: is what was your sort of strategy when recruiting players to the league?
Yeah. I think literally like we pulled the scummy move. I'm not gonna hide behind it. We wouldn't have done this had IOHL still been a thing, but we know it's not going anywhere. Their whole plan is that they're gonna start. They literally posted in their thing, hey, we're not doing a season because staff are too busy. We're gonna do it in 22, whatever. But we went through and we messaged everybody that signed up for the season individually. It was like, hey, we made this league. It's the same time as IOHL. Feel free to come if you want. There's probably going to be hockey here. Don't have to. We messaged all those people. We messaged some other people. We posted in Bufflin's server a couple times. We reached out to friends. Like I reached out to old league friends, LG friends, whatever. They all did too. Then we got Loyal, who's like the weirdest guy out there, but literally is on here all the time. Like he's always on here and he somehow knows a shit ton of people. And I'm like, hey, you do your thing. Just go promote people. Do it for us. And that's what he's done. He's brought in like probably 100 people.
Yeah, he's been on top of his stuff. I've noticed. I sort of know him only from clowning around and Glizzy hating him. That's literally all I knew.
But he's done.
I mean, I'll say the guy's a nice guy, but
he's done a great job of bringing in people. So like
he does love him some Glizzy Gobbler.
Yeah. But yeah, and I think that there was no real strategy. It was just get the word out. And it's a lot different for me because the last league that I grew, as I said, was in 2014. And that's back when like the online
was it?
Sorry?
What league was it?
Oh, I can't even remember the name of it, to be completely honest with you.
He's just lying.
No. I have the documents I can show you later. But I can't even remember the name of it, to be completely honest. But it like we recruited that league in Xbox DMs or the online team play chat boxes.
Looking for group posts.
Yeah.
Dude,
so like
remember that? Dude, that's crazy.
This is a lot different as opposed
900 CR or better only.
Yeah. Oh, dude, we used to literally like you would play in a drop-in, and someone would message you after and be like, "Hey, starting up this league,
starting the threes league."
Yeah, starting this league, and it was like and then they had the lobbies. Remember the old school lobbies they used to have, Golden?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. You would have like the Northeast lobby. You would be in there and have a chat box, dude.
Yeah.
And then you would click on someone's name to join their games. It was fucking.
Yeah, I remember that.
So much better than it is now, to be honest. But
yeah. So it's just different, right? We could literally get the message out really quick, and I mean, I think we started Discord on the 10th, and by the 20th, we had 200 people in here. So it blew up really quick. And we were only anticipating like maybe 150 at most players signed up, and we're at 260 now. And I know that Kraken went through the other day and looked through it, and there's like 10 to 15 to maybe 20 guys that have left the server. But regardless, we're still at like 240. And even with like percentages of inactives, we're still at 200. So like, that's a sick number.
Yeah.
So how
50 then 20 can leave and you still are way above your expectations, and who cares?
Yeah. So how hard are you advocating for SPD to join your management team right now?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm not. I reached out to him and was like, hey, like, would you guys want to take a team? Because they obviously owned a lot in IOHL. And he kind of beat around the bush and he's like, I don't know. And then I reached out to Romo and Colin because I played with them as well. And they actually were going to take a team, but we ended up announcing our 11th and 12th owners first. So, but yeah, it's just, I reached out to everybody that I've played with in IOHL and previous guys and all that stuff. And it's worked out really well.
Really excited to see how the Coding Off team turns out. Really top tier talent. Not that management grouping.
Yeah. Yeah,
I think like the guys like Pizza and Kong and a lot of people is they just want to. I know it sucks, but they just want to see a season under the belt.
Yeah, and we totally understand that.
Yeah,
that's why we're only anticipating 150 people, because we have people be like, "Hey, we're happy about this, but we just don't want to dedicate our time if the league's not going to go through. So we just want to wait a season. Plus, it's summer." Well, I mean,
how many leagues have folded that you join and have high hopes for?
And
I'm not saying it'll happen here, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, and we're like, that's fine. Just come hang out, and we're going to do the best we can to keep this going, right? It's only as good as your group, and we just got to make sure we have backup plans in place. So we have other guys that didn't get an ownership spot, and I'm like, hey, just hang around. If something happens, you can get a team later on. Worst case, you apply next season and you can possibly get a team there. I was
So,
like,
are you ever planning to introduce like an AHL or like training camp kind of team thing? Maybe. All right.
Let's
Cool.
get through one season of NHL.
yeah, I think personally, I've reached out to Bishop, who's like one of our commissioners. He's just here to help as well. Him and JDJ, and I was like, he's experienced running stuff in the West League and whatnot. So I just was like, hey, I was just like, hey, if we get a shit ton of TC guys, would you be willing to organize like TC games, unofficially but officially? And he's like, yeah, sure. So if we get like TCs of 8 to 10 guys, that's almost 120 people sitting there doing nothing. So we're gonna figure out a way to keep them engaged somehow.
Yeah. All right. Well, unless anybody else has any questions, we can move on to our exciting segment. Kuz, you got anything?
I think I'm good. No, I can't think.
All
of
right.
anything.
He's fighting off the urge to get a drink back.
Dude, I've been watching. He's just battling that water bottle.
Delicious is guarding the liquor cabinet. You saw her come in and say, "Steve, keep it down."
Dude, she was like, never mind. Whatever. Just go.
I didn't even realize for a second until I just peeked in. That's amazing. All right. Well, then I guess we'll go on to our exciting segment.
This better be exciting. What are we talking about?
We're doing the draft lottery.
Oh yeah.
So we got an exciting draft lottery. So for all the teams,
Woo.
you will be getting to see where you pick in the draft. So I'm very excited to see how this turns out. I'm excited to see which team's going to draft me first overall.
Goalie
should be really good. Yeah, please nobody draft me in the first one.
Overall, are you out of your damn mind?
That would be my luck. It shouldn't happen, but that would be the luck.
There are much better players than you on this list.
I know there is.
3 of them are in this call.
I still remember when Stevie's group took me first overall in one of the IOHL, or not first overall, first round in one of the IOHL international tournaments. I was like, why? What are you doing? But we ended up getting to the finals, so it ended up being okay.
You don't know anything, so trust your own.
Because didn't I just drain you of ELO? In 2 lobbies?
What are you? Oh, God. You want to play tonight?
Of course I want to play.
I actually was thinking about it. I was like, shit, I hate this game. I don't play it anymore. But I'm going to be with the boys tonight, and I might want to play after this shit.
Yeah,
dude, try. You guys got. I don't know if you guys are in the draft lobbies.
No, I left it.
You got to get back in.
If somebody shoot an invite, because the only one that I was in just ended up collapsing. So
yeah, because some invites.
Scott made a new one. So
I think the invites. Mike Scott has one on LG. You could join off LG's forum.
All right.
Yeah, it is a good time. We've been playing it, but anyway, yeah, let's go ahead and get started with the draft lottery. Aces, you can take it away.
All right.
Moment to shine.
I'm gonna do this the old-fashioned way with pieces of paper and a hat.
And you take your hat off your head to do it.
No, I have another one here.
All right.
Of course you do.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, so I've just, as you can see, there's nothing in here. I don't want people yelling at me that I rigged it somehow, especially since I am on team now. So there's nothing in here.
What team are you on?
Vegas.
Okay, just gonna remember.
Immediately sets it down so that he can put fucking 15 Vegas cards.
First overall pick, your Vegas Golden Knights.
Vegas is going one. No, you gotta fold them. You gotta fold them, dude.
I'm going to. Well, I can't with that on my knee. Okay, nothing in here.
Whoa,
So
what's happening under the camera? Whoa.
Oh my god. So all the teams are here. They're all the same size.
That's at Chicago.
Yep, we got Chicago first. Gonna fold it. It goes in.
I want to see it. Hold it up. Yep.
This is the dumbest fucking process.
They're making me do it this way.
You're
Seattle.
last pick to first, right?
Seattle. Yeah. No.
Yeah, we'll counter down.
Colorado.
And when you get to the 2 left, you got to do number 1 as the pick.
Yeah. So
we're doing an actual draft lottery style. So if you're picked first, you're last.
Oh, so Buffalo or Edmonton are gonna win. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't show this one. Sorry. Detroit. Vegas.
Oh my god, he shows every fucking
the
thing.
backside was
I
black.
have to. I don't want to get yelled at. New York.
The back of the Vegas slip was black. It was all black.
Toronto. I just don't want to get yelled at, so I'm doing this.
If someone yells at you, tell them to fuck
Ottawa.
Tell them to talk to us. We'll fucking get them on here.
Pittsburgh.
Yeah, you insult Golden Aces, get ready for your own personal segment on fucking the podcast.
Just don't come on the pod because like 99% chance they look like us and they're a troll. So
should we? How should I do this? Should the first pick be first, or should they?
First should be last.
First pick be last. Last pick.
All right.
And then when you get to 2 left, The next one you pick at 2 left,
gotta
that
be
next
one.
one is first overall.
I'm just bringing it up so I can type it down as we go. Okay. So they're all still
Man.
in.
Oh man, here we go.
All right.
Look at us in the eyes. Look at us in the eyes.
With the 12th overall pick,
Hey, back to back in the second round. Don't get slept
Toronto.
on.
Toronto. Oh, that's tough.
Oh,
Leafs. Hey,
that's what
back-to-back
happens when
pick.
you pick the Maple
Hey,
Leafs, though.
Back to back picks in leagues like this are huge.
Dude, back to back
Guys.
with this team's sick too. The back to back with them will help.
Yeah.
Yep, get your
Back-to-back.
guys. Get who you
With
want.
the 11th overall pick, Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh. Okay. No idea who that is.
Uh,
Yeah, I actually I'm
Oh,
trying to
my.
go to the fucking.
you
I know. I'm
Google
just
that.
scrolling around.
damn Yinzers.
There's the Hoffman family.
All right, next team,
What a crew.
Well, it's Blackfire. That's who that is.
Detroit.
Detroit.
Sorry, Loyal.
God, they can't even get lottery luck in fake
That's all right.
LG or fake leagues.
I know.
Or Detroit.
Next pick.
Loyal, I swear to God, if you draft me in the first round,
I hope I don't pick my team
I
first.
will fucking resign. It will no longer immediately.
Carolina.
Carolina. What
Nine.
number is that?
Damn
9?
it.
8?
9, yeah, 9. I don't want to pick Vegas as the first overall. I don't want
Oh,
to.
you're going to. You know you're doomed. You're
That's the way it
doomed.
works, man. That's the way it works.
I'm so doomed.
I really hope it's Vegas first overall. It'd be
I
so
do.
fucking funny, dude. It'd be so fucking funny.
New York.
York.
Nice
Uh-oh.
upside down paper there, idiot.
Whoa,
New York.
whoa. There's only 7 spots left.
I know.
Oh baby, who's coming up next here?
I'm so doomed to get the Heat if I pick us first.
We'll give Vegas 2. Got to be humble. 2 or 3.
Montreal.
Montreal.
Oh, boy. Montreal. Okay.
Let's go.
7th overall.
All right, baby, who's
Find
coming
that
out
Vegas
here?
card. You better find
Come
it.
on, baby.
After 6, it's going to look sus.
Seattle.
Oh,
no.
baby, let's go.
So bad.
Oh my
I
God.
don't want to take that Heat.
I can't wait until it gets down to 2 and it Vegas.
Aces, if you guys get the first overall pick, you have to draft me first, Obi.
Why would I draft you first?
That is
Because it's just happens.
That
This is what
punishment
we're
does not fit the crime at all.
Anaheim.
Oh, baby.
What is that? That was
Well, I'm
5.
actually on the top. I'm on the edge of my seat right
Four
now.
left. 4 left.
Yeah. Come on, please let Vegas get into the top 3.
Don't
I'll
even
be-
look at it. Just show us. Show
I'm
us.
not-
Don't even look at it.
Ottawa.
Oh, let's go. Oh, baby.
If this
Aces
pick-
League's
if
gonna
this
fold
pick
in the
isn't
first
Vegas,
week because he
Vegas
gets the
has a
first
chance number
over.
1. Oh boy.
Vegas.
Oh!
Repick.
You did that on purpose, bro.
That
You
was an
want to get it
accidental
as
draw.
high without it being weird. I get it.
Yep.
No. Okay, so
All right,
this,
so this
number
next
one,
one
right?
is number
Yeah,
1.
The number 1 overall pick.
Who's it
Wow, so
between?
Pothead and Earth degree. Yeah,
Oh, that's crazy. Yeah.
It's between Chicago and who?
Chicago and.
Ooh, I don't remember which
Look.
teams. Is it Detroit? I
Nope.
think?
Detroit got picked.
Colorado?
Colorado.
Yes,
So
there you
Chicago and Colorado.
Team LTD is owning Colorado.
You guys hear my drum roll or not?
I was
All
doing
right.
it too, yeah.
With the first overall pick in the first UHL draft, Colorado,
Colorado.
Oh, we're Colorado Avalanche.
which means Chicago is second overall.
That's the 2 teams I thought were gonna be the teams to go. Got great picks. Number 2 overall, and then the last with the wraparound. That's crazy.
I'm so happy we didn't get first. That would have been super sus.
That would have been fucking so
Great
funny.
memes to start the
Disappointing.
league right there.
Funny.
Because Vegas was
After we talk about consistency and no bullshit, me pulling myself first.
the meme.
So there's your draft lottery. I'm sure Aces here will post the actual list in the Discord.
How are we doing it? Are we you guys gonna post a video and then it'll be on here, obviously. So
Yeah, we'll post it, and you can
I'll
probably
post
as soon
it
as it
tonight
gets
if
up.
you want, and then you can post that tomorrow or whatever.
yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, so you guys, by the time you watch this, that'll be up. I think that's pretty much about it for this episode.
Where am I? Oh, never mind. We'll talk about it after. Keep going.
Okay. Unless Tribe or Coos or Aces has anything they want to say, this will probably pretty much be the first episode of the pod. I mean, obviously, yeah, not a lot to talk about, not a lot of comedy
News was
going on in
sober.
this episode, just because we don't really have a lot to talk about yet. Come draft night, I will be fucking personally frying most of you, so
So
look forward to that.
when is the actual draft date? Is it next weekend?
It's next Sunday at
Next Sunday.
I forget what time. I think it was like, oh crap, I'd have to look.
All right. Well, regardless, do we do a pre-draft show or do we?
I'm off work that day. I checked. I'm off work that day. So yeah, I'm gonna be in one.
Do you guys?
We do like a mock draft write-up with all.
If I wanted on that podcast,
mock draft's gonna be really hard. I don't know.
I think you'd be welcome if you want, Aces. I mean,
but I can also let you guys into we'll do a specific probably call with all of the owners. And you guys will be welcome to be in there as well.
Are you gonna do what's that? You're gonna do a Zoom call for the draft?
We'll probably do a Discord call, but if you're
okay. I thought you're okay, because that would it.
Well, let's talk about this after we're done recording, and then wrap this pod up, and then we'll talk about it.
Yeah, so I mean, looking forward. The next episode probably will be just the draft, unless we have something that really comes up that we need to talk about. But seeing as that, it's probably going to be that. Look forward to me and Kuz and Tribe here to potentially do our own write-ups, maybe on like players to look at, owners to watch, projections for owners and how they might do during the year, just based off their management group. We'll probably do some different little write-ups, so just keep your eyes open for that. But yeah, the next episode will be, a potentially pre-draft show. But if not, we'll definitely just be doing the draft and kind of evaluating picks as they go. It'll be the first time I actually get to live commentate my own draft pick in the 12th round. So very forward to that.
There is no 12th round. Good try though.
That's probably where I'm going to go anyway.
Can you stop sucking yourself off, dude? Let's go. Let's end this.
I just said the 12th round. Wow.
Yeah,
all right. Thanks for watching.
In cheek, and you're like, oh no, I'm gonna go first.
All right, how about you suck my balls? Why don't you go fucking
so
skate again?
Draft.
Go play some Apex.
Oh,
Make
man,
a fucking
I'm gonna
kale
be
salad and play Apex. All right, you're getting fucking muted.
Halo.
Bang, muted.
Love
hosting the
this
show.
guy soft as baby shit. Oh boy.
All right. Thank you everybody for watching. You will see more of me, Kuz, and Tribe. Maybe we can get him to dress up in his Poindexter outfit because you guys really missed out on an early show today. But yeah, so thanks for joining us, Aces. It's good to have you on. Thanks for answering our questions.
Thanks for making the league.
I'm sure we'll have you on again throughout the year. If not for the draft show, at least some point during the year to talk about how things have been going. But
thank you to you guys for doing this, and thank you to everybody that's helped out with this, albeit staff, owners, even the players who signed up wouldn't be here without you guys. So thank you.
Yeah. Oh, and so everybody knows, there's very little liquor consumed on this show. Look forward to lots and lots more.
Yeah, this was a mistake. I'm changing that next week.
I'll join in.
This was a mistake. Next week will be
because the main purpose of this podcast when we started in IOHL was to just get drunk and talk shit and discuss the league, discuss rules.
Now we'll get drunk and talk shit with segments.
Yes. Now we have
segments, baby.
Well, that's what nobody realized with me and Kuz. Like, we'd have a week to prep for the show, and
we
literally
took 5 minutes of that week.
5 minutes.
Whoa! What do you mean? No one realized it? I think everybody realized you didn't prep for the shows. I mean,
maybe someone just thought we were stupid, and we were like, "Oh God, these guys are fucking."
5 minutes before the show, me and Kuz would get in the Zoom call and be like, "What should we talk about?" I don't know.
Fuck it, start recording.
Dude, I literally like when the one time I did the jersey reviews.
Oh, that was we talked about that like 3 days before. That was
and I got all of the jerseys an hour before the show, and literally as the show timeline's coming, I'm like fucking editing colors in the presentation. I'm like, this is gonna look like shit.
You guys should have to take a shot after every segment too.
Oh, I will definitely be including a segment where whatever guests, it depends on what guests we get on. I'll probably do the same thing I did with the D-Vets where he just says, somebody that says the same repeating line numerous times.
He mentions this shit. Like, you take a drink type shit,
because for D-Vets, he just loves saying idiots. So I just had to do shots. And then next time, though, not telling them that I'm doing that before the show starts. I told D-Vets that, and then he just went out of his way to drop idiots.
We gotta do it.
Are we still going?
Yeah, we're still going. But all right,
okay. I didn't know if
we'll end it here.
I didn't know if I should include this or not.
No, we're good. We'll end it here. So thanks everybody for watching. Hope everybody tunes in for the next episode.
All downhill from here.
See this miracle group battle it out. Yeah, watch us all just descend into fucking misery as the season goes on.
Alcoholism.
Specifically me, because Tribe's not playing, so he really doesn't have anything to fucking lose. I'm gonna get drafted to Loyal's team and then just fucking cry myself to sleep.
Hey, everybody has a trade request, so you can use it.
Whoa! Wait,
Trust me.
What?
I could potentially be
I'm putting
fucking
it in
throwing
before
that
you
out
get drafted.
rapidly.
Yeah,
Yeah, I might exercise that day one after the
You
draft.
can't do it day one, but
Day 2.
I'm gonna
the
get
countdown
drafted. Somebody's gonna be like, "You have to play right D." I'm like,
Well,
"Yeah,
the one
goodbye."
everybody in the league is entitled to a trade request, but you have to play 5 games for your team before you can use
Oh,
it.
you mean I don't have to spend $20 for a token to get a job?
All right,
Everybody
well,
has
whatever team wants to pick me up when I'm 0-5, be on the lookout.
All right, please make
For
this
a
end so I can go
token, he
play
said.
Xbox before I go to
For a
bed.
token.
All right, farewell, everybody. Enjoy, and enjoy your summers.
We'll see
Consume
them
lots of
again
liquor.
in a week.
All right, farewell. I'm going to end the recording now. Bye. Kisses.